Hey y'all, what's going on? It's Barb Meets World, and we are back to discuss the Real Housewives of Potomac's Season 9, Episode 6, which is entitled Shady Waters. Yeah, we're going to get into it, but before we do that, y'all, go on ahead, hit the like button for me, please, and thank you. It helps me and my channel in terms of the algorithm. It helps me attract new subscribers such as yourself. And if you are not a subscriber yet, I'm not exactly sure what you're waiting for, but hit the subscription button, become a Barb's babe, because I would love to have you. And while you're also at it, go on ahead, drop down in that comment section. I would love to know your thoughts on this episode as well as my commentary during this video. And make sure you hit the notification bell so you know every single time I make an upload like this one. And last but not least, share me with everybody you know. Okay, let's get into it. Here we are. Hey y'all, what's going on this lovely, well, I'm recording this a little late, y'all. Please bear with me. This weekend was very busy. It's always like a really busy time of year for me. Between the Marine Corps birthday and Veterans Day and all that, like it's always a complicated time of year for me. So, but without further ado, I had to come down here and give you guys my take on this episode because RHOP is still very much giving, if you ask me. And this episode definitely kept my interest. Let me know if you guys agree with that. Again, I would love to know how you feel in the comment section. But this episode actually started off with Karen and was it Karen, Kay, Jassi, and Stacey. They were all amongst each other. And this is when Stacey was asking Karen, like, if there's anything else she should know, or like, they're like, you know, do you need rehab? Like, what's going on with you, Karen? Like, for real, what's going on with you? And Karen's like, no, she does not need rehab. Kay had her back, which just goes to show that they really do have a friendship. They have forged a friendship. And Kay is going to ride for her. Only thing I have to say is no matter what, you know, I love me some Grand Dame, you know, I love me some Karen, but Karen, you know, just looking at how she didn't always have Wendy's back as much as I would have liked her to in the past. I mean, let's, you know, roll it back to season 7 when Wendy was assaulted by Mia. Karen, I feel like, was riding the fence instead of actually coming down and taking a side, because there's just certain situations in life, y'all, you cannot stay neutral about, you cannot be complicit with, because there's certain situations in life that there is going to be a concrete right and wrong to it. So all I'm saying is I hope that Karen has been just as good of a friend to Kay as Kay is being to her. That's all I'm going to say on that. Moving right along. Karen also goes on to say, contrary, you know, to popular belief, Mia actually started the joint or whatever because, or I should say, Mia actually went to rehab because she had an opioid addiction, which is the reason behind her even starting, you know, the joint and all of that, getting involved with all that and stuff like that. So, she's one to talk, basically, is what Karen was saying in this moment. And I feel like those ladies in particular were taken aback by this. I wasn't. I don't know if you guys were, but if you guys seen, I think right when Mia came on that season, she, I want to say that clip of her on some local or whatever news network, she was actually speaking and divulged that. So this is not new news. This is not anything that was a secret, because Mia put it out there. So Karen was just letting them know, keeping them well informed. Okay. And from there, they're kind of like taken back, like, oh my God, really? Like, oh my God, really? And it's actually Stacey who's like, she don't really want to do that. She's trying to play nice. She's like, you know, let's not do this. It just hurt me to hear that about you. And Karen's like, girl, it hurt you to hear that about me. Did you forget that the person that is telling you this is somebody that is sleeping with her boyfriend and has her husband in the house while she's got the boyfriend in the house at the same time? Like, be effing for real is what Karen was trying to do. And it's like two things can be true at the same time. Mia has her things with her. Lord knows she does. We know she does. But at the same time, Karen, you definitely like kind of have your things with you too. And I feel like their line of questioning wasn't displaced, if that makes sense, right? What else happened in this little scene? Nothing too much. I did let out a chuckle when Karen was like, you know, Mia will do anything to elevate herself, including stepping on G just to stand up. And I was like, honestly, that was funny. That was kind of dramatic, but at the same time, that's exactly what we've seen from Mia. Am I lying right now, y'all? Am I really lying? No, I'm not, because we've seen Mia throw like her family members up under the bus. We've seen her throw Jacqueline up under the bus, Gordon, like everybody. Now she got the kids involved with the storyline. And I say that knowing full well that Gordon was actually the person that went off and opened up the floodgates to what was really going on in their marriage. However, I don't feel like Mia took that baton and ran with it, if you ask me. Just saying. Moving right along. Wendy doesn't want any parts of this. It's still her birthday. She's the big 4-0, and this is not what she's trying to do. She wants to have fun and enjoy her birthday. Rightfully so. Right? Yeah, rightfully so. So Ashley FaceTimes her kids real quick. Don't really care about that. Only question was, why are they sliding down the roof of your car? Like, them boys be running the show. They be running Ashley is what I think. Because yes, we've seen them jumping up on the countertops in the past, and now we see them in a little clip. One was on the roof of the car. So Ashley, yeah, you clearly got your hands full over there, mama. Moving right along, then the ladies, Ashley, Karen, Stacey, and Kay, they all go outside to sit poolside. And when Jassi comes out, she's looking cute. She's looking like a golden goddess, okay? And body was banging. And she decides she's going to take a dip in the pool. And when she goes to do that, somehow she must have misjudged how deep that end of the pool was. And when I say mama was fully submerged in the water, like entire head was under the water. Yeah, that's what happened. Did any of them lift a finger to try to help her? No, they didn't. Luckily she was okay, and she actually played it off really cool, a lot cooler than I would have, because the way this head is set up, yeah, that would not have been a pretty sight once I came up out that water. Yeah. Silk pressed would not be silk pressed anymore is what I will say about that. But like I said, she paid it off cool. Stacey and TJ were FaceTiming the majority of the night. Kay lets us know she misses him. They when they don't talk and they pray together, they talk about future plans. She wants to introduce him to Arabella one day, but as far as the divorce, they're still working on their agreements. So Wendy joins them looking, delightful to the eyes. Ashley actually says that on June 11th, apparently, she's going to have mediation. So she'll have an agreement that will enable her then to file for divorce. And she's hoping that within, I guess, 3 months, then after that, the divorce should be finalized, is what she said. It is November now. Yeah, we'll believe it when we see it. Ashley, she hasn't really did anything thus far this season that has really proven to me that she's going to be fully divorced by then or by any time. And that's her business. Ultimately, we don't really care. I feel confident in speaking for myself when I say that, and for a lot of y'all that I see in my comments and on Twitter, at least. So yeah, there's that. Ashley confirmed that her dates don't meet her son's. And that's a deal that they have. And as far as on the flip side of that, that's the same, vice versa. That's one thing I can agree with. I'm under the belief that you shouldn't completely leave your children in the dark if you're in a relationship or something like that, especially if it's like getting like serious and stuff, and you guys are moving towards long-term partnerships. But at the same time, I'm also under the belief that you don't want to do that too soon. You shouldn't just be bringing people in and out your kids' lives all willy-nilly. That can cause like other issues, attachment issues, things of that sort. So that's actually one thing I can agree with Ashley on, but we'll see, Ashley. Ultimately, we'll see. I'm not sure if that gave Stacey some ideas or not, but based on her assessment of Ashley later on towards the end of this episode, I'm assuming it has, and we'll get to that when we get to that. Karen was like, baby, get the ring first. And Kay is like, see, y'all, Karen, she's old school. And that actually made me think back to when they've had their first sit down. And Karen was asking about like, how are things with her and Greg? And in a subtle way, I would say Karen placed a lot of emphasis on marriage during that sit down. And over the last couple of episodes, I've just been really thinking about that, and based off what we've seen between Kay and Greg and all of that. And even as a married woman, I can fully say, while I support marriage, I also support not getting married if that's not what you want to do as well. But in this situation, I just see Kay pouring a lot out of her cup, and I just want to make sure that that's being reciprocated, because ultimately, we're not in the middle of their relationship, so we'll never quite know. But we're seeing on the show her talking about mating and mattressing and muling too, because that comes with it as well. Shout out to the diva Erica De Niro. And I'm just hoping that her fancy is being tickled. Like, she's helping him with his business. She's got his 2 daughters that she says, she's the rich live-in auntie for. She is helping with the business, doing all these like these things. And it's just like, I just hope that that's being reciprocated. Okay, I really, really do. Wendy asks Stacey, so like, what does her husband think does he know about TJ? And she's like, yeah, of course he does, but he doesn't actually know like TJ's feelings for her. And I'm like, that man is not stupid. That man is not stupid at all. Her husband, that is. But at the same time, they're like, huh? Like, what do you mean he doesn't, like, who does he think TJ is? Like a friend? Like, huh? And she's like, yeah, like, I guess like a friend, I guess. And again, I'm gonna let Stacey's thrive in her little delusional bubble with this whole thing. But I'm like, that guy's not stupid. He knows that it's not that. And he's probably very much doing the same thing. So it is what it is. And then Jassi weighs in, and she's like, her fiance does have children. That makes things a little bit trickier. So her take on it is like, when things are when you're feeling more confident that there's a proposal around the corner, then, kind of bridge that gap and do that. That's more of a befitting time in her eyes. And I'm like, okay, I understand that. They all have their own individual thoughts on it, but ultimately Ashley's going to navigate her situation how she wants to navigate her situation. Stacey's going to do what she wants to do with her situation. And I just hope that, Ashley, honestly, I really don't care, because we know how I feel about Ashley. We know how a lot of us feel about Ashley. That's just going to be what's going to be. But as far as Stacey, I really, really do hope that she makes the best possible decision she can for herself, first and foremost, and of course for her daughter, especially because she's getting out of a 16-year relationship. And I'm just like, are you sure this is a man that you like want to be with forever and ever and ever and ever? Like, I don't know. And settle down with, like, I just want her to be sure. And Stacey's like, okay, I got it, but like at the same time, we really haven't gotten to the nitty gritty about your relationship, Jassi. And this is when we start to get those flashbacks of her explaining like the timeline of her relationship and where like the kids kind of fell in the mix with that whole thing. And y'all, the math mathing for y'all? Because it wasn't mathing for me. It really wasn't. And that's kind of like the perfect segue for me to bring up the fact that this has been playing out in the blogs as well with her fiance Darius, his kid's mother is actually been very vocal online, and we can actually discuss that at the end of this. But she has a different take on how their relationship was forged and everything. And that's why I want to leave you guys with all the information, because I would love to get down those comments and get your opinions on it. But I really like Jassi. I really do. But I hope she's not playing herself, one. And by playing herself, I mean, like, if the situation's what the situation is, if you guys were not official at that time, or there was some overlap, or he cheated, or whatever it is, if that is what happened, then just own it and say that you're staying with your man. That is totally fine if that is what you choose. But trying to downplay the seriousness of the relationship he had with this other woman, especially when kids were brought into the mix, like, and the dates are just not adding up. We know, like, you know, the average gestation period, you know, for a woman, 9 months, as Ashley let us know later on when it came back around. Like, it's just not. What's going on there, Jassi? What's going on there? I'm really curious. Anyway, then Jacqueline comes out, and I'm like, oh my God, why is she here? And my only question with that is that she came out, and Wendy was talking about, like, oh, like how good her legs look and everything. And Jacqueline was like, you know, wait until I get my little work done or whatever. Like, wait until y'all see me. And all I was thinking is, like, wasn't this the same lady that just in the episode prior was talking about I'm giving the full-bodied everything, honey. Okay, it is the face, it is the hair, it is the body, it is the steak and lobster. Like, is this the same lady? But now you're talking about, you know, wait till I get my body done. It's giving, I'm trying to get in where I can fit in. I want to be one of the girls. And it's just not, like, it's falling short. Every single time she opens up her mouth, it falls short for me, y'all. And I just want her to stop. It's so cringy. I don't like it at all. Mia gives Wendy some flowers that her husband and her kids sent her, and she starts to show the girls how it is done, honey. She is teaching Stacey. They're trying to teach Stacey how to twerk something. She cannot really, you know, do it the most effectively, if you ask me. But Stacey was giving I just want to ask you guys, which is the better dancer, Stacey or Gizelle? I want to know what you guys think about that in the comments. Let me know who's the better dancer out of the two. But ultimately, I appreciate Stacey the way she is. I think she was very much needed for this show. I actually want to see more one-on-one scenes between her and Gizelle. Actually, I think that could be, I think that'll be interesting between them. I really do. And then the final little thing with them at this pool was Mia throwing her BBL back on Kay. Because, as Wendy said, in true Mia fashion, that's the way that she barters for forgiveness. Yeah. Sex sells, right? Anyway, moving right along, Gizelle rejoins them, and Jassi immediately fills her in on the tea. She starts off with saying that people are basing their business off of ex-drug dealing money. And Giselle's like, what? What are you talking about? And she lets her know that Ashley was asking about Kay's scar and everything. And that was basically her trying to get a reaction out of Kay. We know that. We know that. But she's just giving her the rundown of everything she missed. When Jacqueline enjoys them, she's like, Gizelle, I'm just so glad you're back. And I'm just looking at, it's just not giving. It's not giving. Her outfit wasn't giving. Her shtick isn't giving. Her try hardness isn't giving. Don't bring Jacqueline back next season, y'all. Please don't. I can't deal with her. Honestly, at this point, I honestly would actually prefer Charisse. And that is saying a lot. That is saying a whole hell of a lot. That I would actually prefer freaking Champagne Charisse over Jacqueline. I really would. But before they head off, it's shot o'clock. Mia starts giving them shots of Casamigos and everything. And they're driving a boat and everything. And when I say that this gross heifer, Mia, it gets to be her turn. And when I wish I got the picture, I forgot to screenshot it. But when I say she deep throated the whole bottle, but didn't even actually I don't even think she got anything, because we seen it all being spit back into the freaking bottle. And the bottle wasn't empty. There was about like a quarter of the liquor left in the bottle. And I'm just like, how low down do you have to be? Like, tacky and just disgusting as hell. Anyway, then they head off to the joint. Again, not sure why we went to the joint. This whole Lake Norman trip was kind of tired, honestly. And if this was my 40th birthday trip, even though y'all know damn well this was not really intended to be Wendy's birthday trip. This is just kind of like an umbrella catch-all, I think, little trip or whatever that they decided to like just glom that on with. It's still y'all's passports expired. Like, I don't know what it is, but can we get an out of the country trip, please? Or at least if it's going to be in the States, can we go to that damn Hawaii? Can we go to we could even go to Puerto Rico, because you don't need a passport to go there. Like, even like some of the Virgin Islands, like can we go somewhere more, vacation-esque? Because going down to the local joint chiropractic down in Lake Norman, I wasn't understanding why we were there. Even if it wasn't Wendy's birthday, I don't understand why they thought that would have been a good idea, or they being Mia thought that was going to be a good idea. Why are we here? And even before we get there, in the van, Gizelle and Wendy and Stacey were like up front, and they get on the subject of TJ. And Stacey actually informs us that he is a walk-on actor. He's played on Days of Our Lives, NCIS, Grey's Anatomy, ER, etc., etc. You can look him up, check his IMDb, honey. He is based in LA, I'm assuming, is what she meant. But he tries to come back like every other week and all of that. And so they're really like kind of like they being Gizelle mainly was pressing her about like the fact that they have no sex and like how that works for her and everything. And Stacey initially says that was a decision. It was a we decision, but ultimately he made the final decision with that whole thing. And Gizelle and Wendy, Gizelle was cracking up, and Wendy finds it odd. I do too. Again, I'm just like, this is a big ass bargain. I feel like you're bargaining, and you don't even know if, like, you just don't know like 100% this is like what you want to do for real. Are you sure? Like, have you really, like, I don't know. And I need to go back and rewatch the Watch What Happens Live with Stacey on there, because I did see like a little clip of her on there, and I did see TJ on there in his blouse. Hey, I'm not the only person that was like, that was an interesting shirt choice. He just seems like an interesting guy. I know we're going to see more of him next week, especially. So I'm still trying to see what it is, because I like Stacey and I want to trust her judgment. She seems like an intelligent woman. She seems like she's had a lot of success. Seems like she has a good head on her shoulders for the most part. But like for a lot of people I've met in my life, though, I will say they've had good heads on their shoulders when it comes to certain things. But when you get on certain subjects like relationships or, et cetera, it's just like, they have that one flawed area. Maybe this is just Stacey's one flawed area that she just, I don't know. Moving on. When they get to the joint, Dr. McDaddy is not even there. And Mia tells them a little bit about her whole deal with still owning 22 locations, even though she's going to dissolve it because, you know, that's probably not the best thing for them to still be in business together as she navigates this divorce and everything. And although, you know, in Mia's defense, I heard about the joint prior to her even coming on the show. So I know it's a legitimate business and all of that. I don't quite still believe her, you know, I don't understand her ultimate involvement in it. But what I will say is, she freaking, sorry, I was like doing my hair before this and I got like a little hairs and it like throws me off. Anyway, she's not selling it. She's not wowing them. She's not winning them over by how she's pitching and you know, showing this business to them. She doesn't even own this one anymore. It's giving like, why are we here? Let's just move on. I'm so glad they did. I'm so glad they did. They finally sit down for some lunch at some random restaurant. They start off with shots of lemon drop shots, except for Karen. She has coffee. And my question was in this scene, I don't know if you caught, like, was she putting medicine on a cracker or was she putting hot sauce on a cracker? I didn't know what was going on with that whole thing. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because I was really confused. Ashley still isn't letting Karen breathe. She's seen this whole dog and pony show before with Karen, and she just hopes that it's the real deal with her, this whole not drinking and learning her lesson or whatever. Gizelle decides this is a time for her to, you know, get in on the messiness that she missed out on. So she asked Kay, like, are you good or whatever? I heard that you were super upset. And she turns to she's like, yeah, you know, I was super upset or whatever. And she turns to Ashley to like ask her, you know, are you going to apologize or anything? And Ashley's like, I did say sorry already. Did you say sorry and mean it though, Ashley? Probably not. And so this actually prompts, because Kay was like, you know, she kind of made it more so about Mia's part in things and Mia being the one that started it more so than Ashley. So then of course that prompts Mia and Kay to start going back and forth with the whole thing. And they start arguing about, you know, colorful pasts and illegal shenanigans. And what I will say about this is stripping is not illegal. It definitely is not, but two things can be true at the same time. And I think the overarching message here should be that, yeah, although Kay was dating somebody who was, you know, involved in illegal street activities, I guess, allegedly. I need to put I haven't even been scrolling my other banner, but let me just throw that up there real quick. Allegedly, you know, because I don't want no problems with nobody, okay? But a lot of times, like, although that doesn't mean that she was involved in it directly or anything like that, that does show that like maybe you were complicit with it though, which sometimes can be just as harming or damaging. But at the same time, Mia, you're so vocal saying all this about her. Mia, you can't tell me and look me straight in my face and tell me that you have never been involved with the same type of individual. You probably have, or somebody that was doing adjacent things or whatever. I'm not gonna not believe that. Anyway, so we're able to get off that subject enough when Jassi changes the subject to bring up how she'll be throwing this party, this event where her fiance will be getting honored, and she lets us know that the Super Bowl champions are always invited to the White House every year. And so she actually, some of the people that will be at this show are going to be some nice things men. So, you know, she gonna put her girls on or whatever. And they're like, oh yeah, they down for it, of course. I'm eager to see how that event all goes down. Jacqueline, she jumps in to talk about her fitness girl era. Didn't really understand where that fit in. It's just like, why are you here? She doesn't even go here. Like, that's what I'm thinking every single time Jacqueline opens her freaking mouth, y'all. I'm sorry. I can't help it. But it was Gizelle talking about, are you like talking about like Karen or whatever? Like, are you, because she's all like, oh yeah, it makes her feel strong and everything. Like, Jacqueline, goodbye. Anyway, back at the house, they all start getting ready for dinner, which tells me that there must have been some type of lapse in time in between, because we just go straight from lunch to dinner. What did they do on this trip? They drove around in the backyard pond on a riverboat. They like had one dinner, two dinners, three dinners, four. Like, they didn't really do anything. They just keep going back to the house, changing clothes. Some people keep changing clothes. But it's not fun. Like, this did not seem fun to me at all. Unless they had some real fun when the cameras went off. Like, can we go to a club? Like, come on. But anyway, Mia is going to be taking them to the nicest like rooftop in the city. It's called Fahrenheit. She instructs them all to wear fiery red. So they all start getting ready. Wendy receives a FaceTime call from her family while she's in glam, nice, cute, whatever. Jassi tries to FaceTime Darius. And she says she's been especially checking up on him lately because he's actually not with the team right now. So yeah, he's not with the Chiefs right now. And that can, sometimes keep somebody in a discouraged state because it can make you feel like, you've been fired. So she wanted to check on him, but the signal was super bad. And this is also when Ashley plays the new EDM version of her Healing and Thriving, whatever song for Gizelle. And although me and Gizelle don't agree on a lot of things, y'all, I still don't see it for that lady in a lot of different ways, but there's nothing I could agree with her more on than in this scene when the way her face scrunched up let us know every bit of what she felt about that song. And the way I was cracking up when she was giving her musical suggestions in the confessional, I was like, you know what? That was funny, Gizelle. I'm gonna let you get that one off because Ashley, let's stick to your day job, which seems to be this. Hopefully for not too much longer. Just no. Just no. Just no. Anyway, so in T-minus 8 minutes, they're about to head off. And before we can do all that, though, Jacqueline and Mia are like in the kitchen area. And why does Jacqueline proceed to go around talking about how somebody stinks, and she says it's smelling like stink pussy or something. And not only that, though, y'all, Mia's like, is it me or whatever? Like, smell. And Jacqueline crouches her grown ass down and proceeds to inhale a whiff or two or three, however many, of Mia's pussy. Yeah, I'm not making this up, y'all. Yeah, I'm not making this up at all. And she, they try to attribute it to girl code or whatever. And it's like, you know what? There are some lengths I will go through with my friends, by all means. If one of my friends is smell ripe, yeah, of course I'm gonna tell them and stuff like that. Of course I'm gonna make sure, good teeth check, make sure everything's good, whatever. I'm a girl's girl through and through, okay? But for you to proceed to drop down and smell your best friend's vagina on national TV and then proceed to display some type of excessive attachment to said best friend. Mia, you better watch your back, because if you ever decide to play her again or really try to cut this girl off again or something like that, it can be very dangerous. Like, come on, y'all. That was next level, like, for real. Anyway, so they are all wearing red, like I said before, but when Wendy comes out, she has on like white and silver, and they were like, oh damn, look at you, but like, I thought, where's the red at? And Wendy was like, I'm wearing a red lip. Yes, that's the birthday girl. Though that's the Dr. Wendy I like to see. Okay, she said, it's my birthday, and if you guys aren't going to give me my moment, I'm going to take it. And I didn't see anything wrong with that, and I actually appreciated them not being big ass haters and actually letting her get this cute moment off. I thought that was cool. On the van, they played Mary Fuck Kill, which is something that always comes up, I feel like, on these shows. And Jassi goes first. She says that she would unalive Karen, she would marry Wendy, and she would F Mia. Cool. Don't really have much to say about that. Ashley said she would F Stacey because she likes to be in the presence of bad bitches. Y'all, I'm just a little confused by that, because if you say you like to be in the presence of bad bitches, why have we not seen said bad bitches around you whenever you bring your friends on? And that's not even, I'm not even trying to say that to shade all of her friends, because quite honestly, I don't even remember what any of her friends look like, except for that one Sesame Street character, that she's friends with. Wouldn't necessarily classify her as a bad bitch, but I'm not even gonna talk. I'm not even gonna talk about nobody's looks. I'm gonna just move on. She would marry Gizelle, and she would unalive Wendy and bring her back to life. Whatever, who cares? Wendy said this is when we get that comment from Wendy that we seen in the trailer, where she says that she would F Gizelle, and her reasoning behind it in this scene is that because they've been at odds for so long, the makeup sex would just be chef's kiss, basically. Probably, right? And I'm like, you know what? Although I agree with that logic, it's still like, okay, whenever she decides to lay it on a little bit too thick with the whole reconciliation with Gizelle thing, I just have to kind of roll my eyes a little bit, because I'm like, Wendy, like, although I think you do a good job in a lot of moments showing us that you really don't still see it for her like that, you're just kind of keeping her at an arm's distance. We get moments like this where I'm like, okay, are you falling back into that pygmisha behavior? I hope you're not. I think you were just fine over there with Kay and, some of the other girls. Like, just stay over there with them. Okay. Karen, Wendy also said that she would marry Kay and she would unalive Jacqueline. Most of them wanted to unalive Jacqueline, much to her confusion. I'm like, how are you confused? You are the lowest hanging fruit here, honey. You are the unnecessary accomplice here, honey. Why are you here, honey? Why is she here? Someone please tell me, why is this lady here? Anyway, Karen said that she would F the shit out of Mia. And I don't know why, but that just made me laugh how she said that. She would marry Jassi and Kay, and she would unalive Jacqueline as well. I mean, duh. If anybody was going to unalive Jacqueline on this bus, Sprinter, whatever, of course it was going to be Karen. Stacey didn't really want to go, but she did. She says that she would marry Ashley, F Mia, and unalive Jacqueline as well. Cool with that. A lot of them, of course, wanted to F Mia because I'm sure there'll never be a dull moment. The way that she deep throated that bottle, I'm sure there's never going to be a dull moment. And she's down for it. I don't think she actually goes, but she's down for it. Her, and I don't think Gizelle went either. And then when it got to being Jacqueline's turn, of course, Jacqueline was like, she would F Ashley because she's already after Mia. there's another thing that I had to agree with Gizelle on during this episode, and it is what she said at this exact moment, which was in her confessional. She says that, you know, Mia can talk about 100 men, sleeping with 100 men, but let her talk about, you know, sleeping with one woman, and oh my God, it's giving sworn lover. And Kay was like, thirsty. Could not agree more. And Jacqueline actually says, she's like, you know, she's never jealous of what Mia does with other girls, because at the end of the day, she's queen bee up in there, and they better acknowledge her and her presence. And I'm like, at this moment, like, on one hand, I want to say that she's trying to just purposely play in our faces and just try to like play off of, you know, like when, like Oprah and Gayle, for instance, they've been, alleged to have had relations for like years and years and years now, and I feel like they make jokes out of it and stuff. Like, I don't know if this is her way of, I don't know if this is Jacqueline's way of making a joke out of this, but if it is, she's miserably failing. And honestly, like, I don't even think that that's the case. I think she truly is meaning exactly what she's saying when she says stuff like that. Really weird. Anyway, once they finally reach the restaurant, though, y'all, they place their orders and everything. And Wendy actually opens up saying that, again, she usually only spends her birthdays with her family. And that's actually because she never really thought people like would celebrate her, you know. And they met her at 35 when she was in a transitional period of her life. She had just had a brand new baby. She was navigating being a mother of 3. They've seen her delve into different businesses. They've seen her, you know, love her body again. And she's now reached the age of 40, and she's realized that she has nothing left to prove. She's enough. She has arrived, and I love that for her. I love that this season she's actually turning 40. She's entered a new decade, and she's not in the middle of beef with everybody. She doesn't have people trying to make up nasty, hurtful rumors about her family members, whatever. I really love this for her. I really do. I really, really do. And so, of course, everybody starts to go around the table weighing in on their feelings towards her, or how she's impacted them, or how like they feel about her, et cetera, et cetera. And a couple ones I wanted to highlight was, well, one I want to highlight was like Mia owns the fact that they've had their highs and lows, but I didn't quite hear anything nice, really. So I didn't really understand why she brought that up, but okay. And then from there, I wanted to bring up Jassi said that she had expectations when she met the group, and Wendy included, and Wendy actually superseded those expectations. I thought that was a beautiful compliment. Karen makes mention of how Wendy's been there for her, and this is again where I just need to bring up the fact that I'm glad that you can see that, Karen, because I believe that, but I just want to ensure that going forward, you strive to be that same level of friend to Wendy, because yeah, you haven't always been, just saying. When Kay spoke, she spoke about how Wendy is the glue that, you know, has really been there for her in times. And yeah, she says that she wishes for God to continue to shine his light on her, and for her to keep doing what she's doing, and says that she's always been the glue for everything that she's been through, and that she loves her. I love that, because it really shows that these two ladies have a genuine friendship outside of what we've seen. I love that. And I know Wendy and Candace's relationship has been scrutinized before, and people have tried to figure out just how close they really were and stuff like that. And I feel like yeah, where what we thought Candace and Wendy might have had is actually truly what Wendy and Kay have. That's what I think. Yeah. So Jacqueline, no one really cared about what she had to say. They bring out some champagne, and Stacey's like, there's been so much focused on me and everything else and stuff, but we really haven't talked about Jassi's man. And I'm like, that was a cute way of stirring the pot a little bit. And it's because, like I said earlier, we see all of their, and we see it in this scene too, all of their brains trying to understand just what is going on between Jassi and her man, and the math not exactly mathing. And so as Jassi is opening up, saying how she appreciates Stacey asking this because Darius has just been the best thing that has ever happened to her. Let's stop right there. I love my husband, Lord knows I do. He is definitely one of the best things that has ever happened to me. He definitely is. But the soul thing, my life wasn't doing anything until he came across, couldn't be further from the truth. And from the looks of it, I thought that was the same case for Jassi, where she seemed like she was doing big, better things, great things out here. So to just attribute all of, your life's best instances to just when you met him is honestly selling yourself short. I feel like it really is. She says that they're going to marry and they've had bumps in the road, but they've gotten through those bumps. And she says that he's a great father to 2 boys that he's already either created before her or that were already there. And someone, I don't remember who it was, they asked how old the children were. And she's like, one is 3 and then the other one turned 1 just a month ago. And this is when everybody's wheels start to turn. They're thinking what we're thinking, which is okay, where is the overlap? What's really good, Jassi? Because it's not really adding up. Mia says she's gotten 8 different versions of this story alone. And I want to say this is when Kay jumped in, or not even Kay. She was he was dating the woman for 2 or 3 months. Then she was pregnant, and she was already pregnant before they had even had sex. And then that's when he found out, which is obviously the reason behind the delay in her finding out. And it was just a lot of it was a lot. And I don't know if we're ever going to get to the bottom line truth of it. And let me try to get to because I've been bumping my gums for longer than I was supposed to about this. But I do want to make sure we see what what his child's mother actually said in response to the things that Jassi was saying in the picture she was trying to paint on the show. I do want to get to that. But during this scene, they're just really confused just as much as we are, y'all. And it's if she was already pregnant, if he cheated, then that's just what it was. Because the math is not mathing. And Kay, she tries to share her testimony because she's actually found herself in the same boat with somebody in the league before. And the dude wind up having ghetto twins. And by ghetto twins, I mean he got 2 different girls pregnant at the same time. And before she could get to the bottom of her story, Mia jumps in to try to steal her shine and make a moment and say that, oh, well, what's his name or who is he? Because that sounds very similar to somebody I dated or whatever or was with. And it's just Mia, you never know when she's telling the truth and when she's lying. So I feel like this was just her moment trying to this was just a moment where she was just trying to steal a show. It is what it is. But Kay's bottom line is, one, he plays for Jesus. And she's if you're dating any form of a successful man, you should be prepared. Yeah, you should be prepared. And I'm you know what? I think that's what it comes down to is, and that's why I just want Jassi to be 100% real with this and say okay, yeah, he did what he did or was moving however he was moving or whatever. And I decided to stay because that's what I wanted to do. And whether that be because of his, status, whatever, you seeing, this as a good catch, however you want to put it. If that's what you want to do, girl, then that's totally fine. But you know something else that I thought was wild is when Gizelle was like, you know, Jassi, just if he was cheating, girl, just say he was cheating. Just say that, you know, he cheated and you sticking beside him. And I'm like, you know what? That's it right there. That tells us everything we need to know about why Gizelle found herself in a relationship with Jamal Bryant for so many years, probably while he was dogging her out, because she doesn't see cheating as a deal breaker, clearly. And that's, again, y'all, that is okay. That is your prerogative. But you just need to be honest in that. I just want you to be forthcoming, and I would respect it a whole hell of a lot more. That's how I feel. What else? Girl code. Yeah, this is when Stacey says that she's looking at Ashley a lot different now. And as it pertains to all the women, also, she's feeling like right now she's going through this divorce and everything. She's embarking on single motherhood and all that. And she'd be crazy not to ask these women who've been in certain life situations and experiences, you know, how they've made it through. And I really like that. And I feel like that's applicable to just everyday life too. And I feel like a lot of times we, as people, can be very judgmental. We can be quick to judge others for their situations. But a lot of times we'll find ourselves in those same exact situations or have been in those same exact situations. And it's like, instead of passing judgment, why not ask that person how they made it through? Why not ask them, you know, what tools they used for assistance during that time, instead of being so judgmental? And I feel like this is, again, why I like Stacey's place on the show, because she does, you know, drop little nuggets that allow us to come to conclusions like that, and to draw parallels to everyday life, where it's like, that's actually exactly how it's supposed to be. That's actually, I feel like, the true representation. If we're talking about girlhood or girl code or sisterhood or in the whole nine, I feel like that's actually what that is. And hopefully we can get some of that going on this show, for genuinely. Emphasis on genuinely. But yeah, and then she's found it. What did she say about Jacqueline? Or not Jacqueline? You know, she gives Ashley her kudos and stuff, because she's actually the reason why she finds it in her now to be more like open and stuff about talking about her stuff or whatever, because she's seen how Ashley's been navigating her stuff. And we end this scene with Jacqueline saying that they all need to go back home and shower because they've all been dirty all week. And all I could think at this moment is, weren't you the exact person that allegedly, or you say that, but if I'm not mistaken, you were the person that didn't change your clothes and repeated outfits 1 or 2 times during this trip. So not too much, Jacqueline. She had a lot to say in the wrong moments and makes herself look stupid. Wendy had to shout out her 4 degrees too. And they was like, okay, let's go. And then, y'all, to wrap this up, they all head back home. Unfortunately for us, boo, we don't like to see that. We want to see y'all party. We want to continue the party into the wee hours of the morning. They did do that, apparently. So much so to the point that we fast forward to 6 hours later, we see Wendy has been through it. Okay, this is what 40 looks like. She feels like she got hit by a Mack truck, and Stacey, on the other hand, total opposite. She is used to getting up early call times for QVC and stuff like that. So she's as chipper as ever. She's going around popping in on everybody. Ashley looks like she's been through the washing machine, the spin cycle. I felt like that was a spot on comparison. Shout outs to you again, Stacey, for that. And yeah, they're all packing up, getting ready to get out of there. And I do want to also point out how me and Jacqueline were talking about Jassi's relationship woes still, and how nobody wants to be the side chick. Apparently, did I catch that right? That she was up crying her eyes out and stuff. So
we just gonna have to see. We just gonna have to stick around and see with that one. And Karen actually talks about how although Mia is a horrible hostess, this trip was nice because it helped her take her mind off of her upcoming court date that's going to be coming in 2 weeks. And at the same time, though, she is faithful that her truth will come out. I'm not even going to waste my breath on that. Y'all already know how I feel about how Karen is handling this whole court situation and everything. Let me just plan on over here to the response that, or what Darius is his name? Yeah. What his children's mother had to say about what's been playing out on here. Shout out to Neighborhood Talk for this. Baby mother of RHOP's Jassi's fiance said she was still dating her baby daddy during both pregnancies, despite Jassi saying they weren't. We got pregnant each year on each other's birthday. When we see her down here talking about someone has said she was talking too much, the baby mother is going to come for her. And she actually responded saying, "I'm not coming for her, just wish she'd stop bringing up my children and referring to me as her and she." And then she had also went on to say it's nothing to beef over, but making them the narrative every episode is sickening. Like, he has kids, okay? Y'all weren't together. Just be honest. It's that simple, but don't try and downplay him and I to make yourself look better, is all I'm saying. And people in the comments dragging him off what she said when the story she's telling is furthest from the truth. He knew of each one of his children. He didn't find out when I was 2 or 3 months pregnant. We got pregnant each year on each other's birthday, but before you try and come for me, know the real narrative. I don't want anyone to kiss my SAS, but we're honest over here. So yeah, it sounds like she just wants her to stop downplaying the relationship, which was exactly what she did the first time she referred to it, saying that he had never been serious with anybody prior to like him and her getting together. I can understand why that can be seen as disrespectful. And it's also like, too, I really hope like Jassi, like I because y'all really are conjoined. Like, it's his kids, they're not going anywhere. You say you sticking beside him or whatever. So y'all are a family, so to speak. Regardless, y'all are going to be in each other's lives regardless. And I would hope that you would want to do it in the best way possible for the kids and stuff. So it's just like, maybe instead of having that, I feel like, approach to it where it paints her as maybe like the insignificant or delusional, or however you want to put it, instead of painting her like that, maybe you should paint him like that. Or what's his take on it? How was he moving? I feel like that's really what the ultimate issue here should be, is that he was the one that was clearly doing whatever, and it looks like he was telling this one whatever, he was maybe telling this one whatever, or yeah, that's exactly what it looks like, that he wanted you to believe that you was the only person he had ever wanted to be with that entire time, because of course you guys are together now, obviously, and that's what you probably want to hear. And then he probably told her at the same time back then that that she was his everything, and that he was trying to do stuff with them, because they had matching pajamas, the whole nine. So it wasn't giving that this is just something that was just so significant, and he found out on the back end and stuff like that. I do feel like there's multiple sides to stories, and I do feel like, okay, yeah, that might have been your truth, Jassi, but I don't think that was the ultimate truth. And I feel like he's not catching the brunt of this as much as he probably should have, because he's the glue in the situation. He's the common denominator. Just saying, y'all. So I just wanted to make sure that I ended with that, so you guys can tell me your comments on the episode, on that, on this, on everything I said, I didn't say, whatever, the whole nine. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, y'all. And I will be sure to keep that conversation going. Also, if you have not liked the video up until this point, make sure you like the video, and I'll see you guys on next time. Bye.